Hey, how are you?
How's it going, man? It's been quite some time, man.
Oh my
Wow.
God. It's been a really long time.
Seriously, dude. I hardly recognize you. It wasn't for your face. I was like, wait, holy shit. Yeah. Holy crap. Remember.
Yeah, it's been like what? It was 2017, I think, was like the last Apex thing I did.
Holy shit.
Like with everyone.
The last time I quit Apex.
Yeah, was that when you left Apex around then too?
Yeah, like my last show with them was the show that I also performed was in Borgor back in cinema, remember?
Oh my God. The memories I have of that that night was crazy. Oh yeah. Wow. Cinema is torn down now too. It's crazy.
Like really? Like it doesn't exist anymore?
It's leveled.
No way.
Yeah. Pompano did not like how long they went on, the fact that they couldn't have a liquor license. They had so many artists. Like I remember Carnage. You remember when Carnage used to get dragged out of there?
Yeah.
He just wouldn't stop. Yeah, it's becoming the music scene's moving up more towards Orlando and everything. And I feel like at least for
bass,
like bass.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, like everything that's bass related in Florida, it's either in Tampa or in Orlando.
Yeah, that's why I just moved up here to Orlando because of that reason.
No shit.
I'm actually staying in an Airbnb right now as I'm looking for like a place up here because even Treehouse stopped doing bass. The Venue was the only other place that was doing it in South Florida because like Heart isn't really doing it anymore. Space doesn't do it as much as they used to. Like back when we were doing stuff at Apex.
Yeah, the only ones that are like right now trying to keep the bass scene alive is my buddies from Underground Events. Shout out to those
Wolves, Chris, right?
Yeah, Chris, man. Love Chris, man. Love Andy, love Lorenzo, man. I love all those guys, man. Shout out to those guys, man. Yeah, they're the only ones that are keeping bass alive. At least they're doing it the right way with keeping it very locally.
Mm-hmm.
As it should, give the props to all the locals, give the the flowers to it, and once in a while they'll pop up like a artist here and there just to keep it moving. But they're the only ones that they're keeping the bass scene alive here, man.
There's another one actually down there that's starting to get a little bit bigger. One Vibe Club. You ever heard of them?
I haven't heard of them.
They did stuff with Underground Wubs.
Okay.
For their first event that they did at the warehouse that they're in right now. But I've been like working with them and helping them out with like setup and set down. We're kind of like in between, like growing a little bit. They're even going into like a festival they're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Like an outdoor festival. And it's because like right now, we used to have festivals every month down like in Miami. Now it's starting to get less and less.
Yeah, no, now there's like barely anything in Miami. Like the best you can get is just the house scene itself. And the house scene is just, I don't know, like it's very, I'm not saying that it's for mature audiences. It's just that that's what Miami is all about. Miami is all house. That's what's been known for many, many years. Like it comes and goes, but house will always stay there,
Mm-hmm.
And then, it just took over once Treehouse. I think Treehouse was like the last straw for Miami with bass on it. Once they stopped that, then, sayonara sucker.
Yeah. Like Treehouse was kind of small for it though. Like, and that's the thing with Miami is like a lot of the venues are tighter packed, and the bass crowd, they love their mosh pits. And I saw Maruda at Treehouse, and if you weren't like standing up against the wall, you were in a mosh pit, and they did not like it.
Really?
I was like it down there.
I had a lot of people here that either they perform at Treehouse or they've been up Treehouse. Maybe I haven't asked them thoroughly, like how is like the vibe itself for bass in Treehouse itself, because now you're telling me that it's very cramped, that it's very small. I didn't even thought it was that small. I thought it was just a regular sized venue. But if it's that small for bass, then oh shit, then
yeah. Oh yeah, like I'd say, you see, like the thing with it is it was a cool venue. Like I played there before for their last show there with Virtual Riot.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. Most that was around.
I don't think that. No, it was for his simulation tour. It was with
only
YBG
him
and Goon played.
Right.
Yeah, there's a couple people. Doug.
Dougie boy.
Oh yeah, I love Doug. Doug and Goon, they're fucking dope.
Yo, Doug is. I love both of those guys. I just got Doug to tell him to come over to the show, and he's like super excited for it, man.
Oh yeah, I just watched his thing with you, the podcast with you earlier today.
Yeah. So I asked and he said, yeah. I was like, oh shit, let's go. You know, because a lot of he was funny. I actually came over to that with these people were Chris and Lorenzo. They did their Miami Music Week. They invited me over. They say that if I want to do an interview with some of the artists, I'll be like, okay, cool. I'll have the setup and ready to go. And they gave me the spot. Had any other people to come over. They sit down and talk and I came to Doug. It's like, hey, Doug, bro, like, yeah, after you said, come over, just have a sit down, have a cool down with me, you know? And he was just so excited. And then when we had a sit down, we were just like very intimate for it. I was like, dude, after Forbidden Kingdom, let's talk. Let's have a sit down, you know?
Yeah, he's cool people. He was one of the first people when I started, because I took maybe a 3-year hiatus from music for a while, where like I wasn't like not doing anything, but I wasn't like doing it seriously. More like I have a vibe right now. Let me just have a little fun and see what it creates. But when I first started coming back and trying to like really put myself back out there with social media and stuff, he was one of the first people that like I reached out to, and he was one of the first people that like gave me pointers and like, you know, it was like, what else do you need? And it was actually him and Allison that gave me the opportunity to play for the Virtual Riot. I woke up that morning like, I don't know if I'm going to go to Virtual Riot. And then I was at work and Nobody's King, if you know who that is, he was going to play and then he couldn't that night, or he switched, or no, he played, he just wound up playing earlier. Yeah. So I wound up playing after him. And they called me up and they're like, do you want a spot? We heard that like you play. And I was like, of course. How can I say no?
Damn. Look at that. Taking opportunities right there from the start, man.
Oh yeah. Always. He's one person that like he looks out, you know?
That's good, bro. That's good. Cause let me tell you, man, like I'm loving so far the local bass scene that we're having right here in South Florida. At least all the locals that started from here in the bass scene. I will say that I enjoy you guys a lot more than the locals that I grew up with, you know? I don't know if you get me with, because there's there's a lot of locals that I grew up with, you know, and when I was in my startup points, that some of them were like I bump heads with others, or some of them they don't get along with each other, and it was only just like probably Big and Slim and Chavalo and DNA.
Oh yeah, DNA is really good.
Yeah, like only those guys were the only ones that I fuck with from that crew, you know, that it was the only ones that I hang with, that I can trust them, you know. For Snuko too. Snuko is a dope guy. I love that guy.
Name in so long. He was one of my favorites in Apex.
Yeah. He was hilarious. He was like the life of the party. I love the guy. Great person. But others like, dude, you remember Jack Rampage?
I do remember Rampage.
Yeah, him and there were some other dudes as well. A lot of them from Old Snap people. Yeah, some of the dudes I never get along with, man, because either they're shady or they're just like, oh, you're not dubstep enough.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I'm not dubstep enough, motherfucker. Like, I didn't know there was a requirement that you had to be dubstep enough for you to perform to be fully dubstep. I didn't know there was that type of stuff. But like now I said, like I had those people, you know. It wasn't like you know, like what you guys have in this generation, in which a lot of you guys actually really look out for each other and they pass along information. Like I would have never heard from any of you guys if I haven't had interview one local artist that recommend me another local artist, and then not recommend me another one. Like it became a domino effect, and then from then on, it was my mission to let me search all the fucking locals that are right here, you know. And the fact that you popped out as well, I was like, yes, keep it coming. Come on.
Yeah, so, when I saw that, like you were doing that, because I hadn't seen like your name in a long time show up, but then I saw like your name show up as one of those like, oh, a bunch of people are following this person suggested. I was like, oh my God, I gotta message you. And I saw that like all the things that you were doing, and I was like, wow, this is awesome, especially because Underground Wolves, I've seen a couple of their names, even Overload and Control Q told me that they did something with you.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, like there's so many like local artists that are starting to like connected. And I've loved that lately. The power has been shifting from labels and from promo teams on like how everyone is getting their gigs and everything to more of like individuals are starting to get together. And it's great. It's great to see that because you kind of have more trust in the people. You get to pick and choose who you have on your team.
Yes.
You know?
Oh yeah, bro. I feel like it's much more transparent right now, the scene. It's not as shady and as, you know, not knowing as it was when I was trying to start out, when I was trying to start out with others, you know. If you ask yourself, like, you say yourself, I disappear from the map for a very, very good reason. One of them was I was battling my own demons. And another thing is music wasn't making me happy because it became much more of a transactional thing. It became like a job instead of what it's supposed to be. A feeling, like you said, a vibe, like something that you're passionate about, something that it makes you happy. Like I stopped that altogether. But at the same time, I learned from a lot of people, a lot of big world artists that I call them my brothers. So I was also reinventing myself, learning a lot more, trying to come up with some sick, you know, new style, or trying to come up with a new brand. I was still like not sure what I was trying to get to. And it wasn't until pandemic hit, that's where like what I should have started making music, I started making podcasts. And when that shit was making me much more happy than making music,
oh yeah,
the rest is history, man. And I'm still kicking it.
Makes you happy. Like, at the end of the day, like don't force nothing. You know, like some people, like once they start, they think they have to be committed to whatever they're doing, or like even like how you said, like people were telling you have to be dubstep, or you're not dubstep enough. People think that they have to be committed to a genre or committed to, you know, one place that they have to play at, or one, you know, like they I feel like that's a big struggle where it's something stops making someone happy, but they try and force it a little bit, you know, like.
And that's something that now I talk about it a lot in the podcast. I talk about it a lot with a lot of the people that I interview. Always do whatever makes you happy. If you're passionate to something and it doesn't feel like it's a job and you're doing it and it makes you happy, go for it, man. Don't stop at it, man. That's the key to the man. And by luck or by chance, you started to see some money behind it, then even better. It'll go take off, you know. But yeah, I'm always an advocate to say go whatever makes you happy first, you know, because if you try to force something, then maybe it's not. I'm not gonna say it's not in it for you. Because if you started to do something, you started for a reason, because you want to dabble with it. You want to test the waters with it.
Right.
I will say, like, if you start something and you're not feeling it, then, you know, take a pause for the cause for a bit. Do what I do. Took a hiatus as well. And now when I make a song, it takes me nothing. It takes me like literally nothing. And like, it takes me like a week just to do a song. Maybe a month to hear about it like 20 times so I could get the mixing right and send it over to people. And then I'm done with the song. Do not stress it over. And I do it the most minimal way. And at the same time, the most unique and original sound ever. Like everything that I do is original to the end, to the letter. And all because of the podcast. Because before I didn't feel like I was, doing what I'm doing. Before I felt like I was forced to do this because I got connections with certain artists, with certain labels, and everything is time. Like I need to beat the clock because if I don't, then I missed it, and then I'm fucked. They'll forget about me, and I'm done, and this and that. It was like, it was an unnecessary stress that I was putting myself into, And once I found this baby, I went back again to make some songs, and I did it just for the fuck of it. Now I'm having a release and with a big collaboration. I think when this episode airs, I think the collaboration is out. Yeah. Right. So the collab is with Mantic and Infinite.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I wasn't expecting to do a collab right away with these guys, but I sent some of my songs. I talk over with Mantic, and shout out to him, man. He's a G, man. And he sent it over to Robbie Infinite, and he starts singing it, and it was just like, dude, how much more can I ask? This is dope. I wasn't even expecting it. I didn't even was expecting. They just love the song so much that they hop on it. I'm like, get it. I really don't mind. I'm not really in it for the money anymore. I'm not really in it for for the fame and the glory. I'm really in it because I enjoy it, and it makes me go along with a lot of dope people. Then so be it. I'm with it. I'm with it.
And that's when honestly when like you can really. I think I heard you talk about this with another artist on your show, but like that's when like music gets taken to another level is when you get that passion behind it, and it's not just about the money or the fame or like someone might be able to come up with a banger that way, but they're not going to have a feel to it. That's what I kind of discovered when I started making songs on the hiatus. I was singing more in things and noticed myself like trying to make more chords that describe the feeling of what I'm singing rather than like, oh, this drop is so sick.
Yeah, exactly.
There might be a sick drop, but like there's an emotion that builds up to it, and it tells a story as you go along. And you can kind of like think back to that song. Like when I think of some of the songs that I've made that are, I'm just trying to make a banger. Those ones I like, but it's not the ones that I go back to every single, like I'll listen to and I'm like, yeah, like that reminds me of this moment, like what I went through at this time. Like there's a story behind it, even to me and to some other people that I've played it for and that like listen to it on a regular.
I agree. And that's how my mentality is with making music. I don't care if it's a banger or not. If you like it, that's dope. That's dope, man. If you want to play it,
yeah.
Kudos, man. I love it, man. Thank for the support. But right now, I'm just making stuff that I feel like it. That if I love it, I love it, and that's how it is. Ain't nobody telling me otherwise. And right now, I need to get behind this. Because I already announced that I'm starting an EP. And the whole EP, it's the concept. I keep talking about the concept of the EP itself, which I believe it's dope. But I need to get behind some of these projects and actually like finish them. But the whole concept of the EP signifies everything that I've gone through as an artist. It's very dope because I already know what I want as a cover art. The cover art is like being half of it is like white with happy stuff around it. The other half is black with gnarly, angry, depression shit. But you can tell the difference is that, black and white, say like good and evil,
Right, like yin and yang and
yeah, exactly. Yin and yang. That's the mentality I was going for. So I was like, all right, I want my songs to line up like that. All right, so I got 7 songs together, and all these 7 songs start from intro to beginning. They all go fluently, like it tells like a tale. Like I'm telling a story. Like it starts with, wait, hold on. I got the names of the song because I already said it myself. It's like, I'm naming all these songs just the way like it is, subject to change a little bit. So the intro itself is called Pain. And then after Pain, what's the synonym of pain? No, you're right. It's, the attack.
The
opposite of pain.
antonym or
yes. I don't know. Yes,
grammar's hard.
Yeah. What's the opposite of pain? So the second song is pleasure. And then it jumps into suffering. And what's the opposite of suffering?
Succeeding, growing.
And then afterwards it becomes despair. What's the opposite of despair? And then you end it with the title of the EP, The Lone Wolf.
I like it. Like it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah,
like a roller coaster. I like it.
Like a roller coaster.
Like you're saying, the journey you've been on.
Yeah, the journey that I've been on as a producer, as an artist, as an individual, that I've been going through some tough times, but there was some good times, but and I ended up with the good times, and then this is who I am right now, the Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
And
I like it because it's like the ups and downs really make you who you are, and how at the end of it, it's you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was going by. And because the artwork itself is gonna be like split, divided, the white happy stuff versus the black, gnarly angry stuff, and then itself will go down, mashed together into that one individual, which is me. And I already have the concept of each of the songs itself. Like I have obviously like the ones that sound very angry, like pain, suffering, and despair, they're all tear up dubstep or metal step. It goes without saying that the names itself says it all. But the happy ones, it has like, one is like a regular melodic dubstep, another one is a future rhythm color based song, and then the third one is like, I guess like a combination of both with something extra to it. And then the last song will be like a happy drum and bass melodic song.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I already have this project already like laid out just the way how I want it, what I want it. I just have to start doing it. Problem is, like I'm kind of busy between my 9-to-5 job, which I love, the podcast, me doing the editing. That takes a lot of time, me editing and uploading all the stuff. Obviously, spending some time with my fiance and, whatever other scenarios, but hopefully in the summer, I'm much more free and I can actually like focus it much more,
Right.
But that's my plan.
Yo, that's awesome though. Like, I like that. I like EPs tell a story. I wanted to do that with like my last EP, and I put out, my problem was kind of like what you were saying earlier about time, feeling the pressure because everyone's like, oh, release. And so I set a date, and literally up till 2 days before, I'm still like tweaking and like was not happy with how it was. Even when released, I wasn't really happy with it, how I marketed it, anything. There was nothing about it that made me happy with how I released it, to the point where I kind of want to re-release the whole thing
as VIP.
I have some VIPs that I haven't released yet, but I want to at some point. I love the name Team Rockit. Like I've been going by that since actually I got that name around. I don't know, was it you or was it Lucho that kind of, because me and my ex used to wear the hats, the green and the I
remember the hats, yeah.
And it was either, I thought it was you or Lucho that started saying that we looked like Team Rockit, and that's where we got the name. And so like I love that name so much because I've always wanted something that people like, someone named me. Like I never ever wanted to pick my own name. I wanted someone else to like pick it for me. But now I go out and I DJ, and they're like, "Where's the other half of your team?" Like the marketing behind it, I guess it's not very marketable, there's a word I'm looking for that's not quite coming to me, but I kind of want to re-release everything under a new name when I have like the mixing and mastering to where I want, because I am still going to school to try and make it a little nicer, because I feel my low end can really be to where like when you do your car test and you get mad.
Too many times. Yeah.
And I don't like it when anyone else has their hands on my work unless I'm doing a collab. So like I've tried doing like sending it out to get mastered, sending it out to get mixed, but sending a 300 track Ableton file doesn't exactly make them happy when they get it. And then when you get it back, it's never exactly how you want it,
Yeah, it definitely happens when it comes to collaborations.
Collaborations I love. Like when I'm working with someone, but if it's my own thing, then that's where I'm like, don't touch my mix, don't touch my master. I'll figure it out myself eventually. But like when it's collaboration, I'll let anyone touch it because I'm like, I have that mindset going into it,
I was actually gonna ask you, like, how do you go by with collaborations? Like, what is your creative process when you're doing that?
I'd say it kind of depends on who I'm working with, because there's some people that I've worked with that are thousands of miles away, and we'll hop right here on Zoom. You can control each other's screen, send the file back and forth if they're on Ableton, like as well. But sometimes I'll even do it where like I'll maybe make a drop and then I'll send it over and they'll send it back with something added to it, or maybe the drop's tweaked a little bit and then I'll tweak it and send it back. Like me and Joxy, I have a release called Hold Back with Joxy. And me and him, I don't think we spoke at all for the whole process of collaborating, except for the last day, like when we were just kind of putting like final touches on it. We were just sending it back and forth. And that was probably one of like my favorite songs that I have out in terms of like clean,
right?
Like how clean it is. And then other times I've had people come over to, like if they're close by, like, I'll be laying on the bed behind them while they're working on something. And I'll be, ooh, I like that. And they vice versa. Sorry, my dog's moving around over there.
Oh, no worries, man.
But yeah, I love collabing. Honestly, I feel like people don't collab enough, especially in the underground scene.
Right.
Like they don't know how to start.
It's kind of weird because I've only done 2 collabs in my life, which is with Big and Slim and Nitty Gritty, but that never got released. And then the last one with Mantic and Infinite. Those are like my only collabs I've ever done with in my life. It's like everything else is just by on me. I don't know. Like I have that feeling as well when it comes to making music. I'm very meticulous about it. Unless you can like level up the ante of whatever I have, and I fuck with it very heavily. It's when I say, okay, then yeah, let's do it. But other times that I've ever collabed with other artists, I'm not saying that that they're bad when they're collaborating, or like, because I'm always open for anything. But I get a certain expectations, and maybe this is something that I shouldn't have, but I get a certain expectations, and I feel like if you didn't reach that expectation that I was hoping that you would get, then it's never gonna work out, because at the end of the day, then I'll be the one finishing it and doing all the work. So unfortunately, most of the time I stay away from it, and hence the lone wolf. But yeah, it wasn't until recently that that I was fucking with Mantic a lot, and we were just going back and forth and talking and whatnot. And then I said to myself, like, okay, maybe I actually found a better way that I would like to collab with people. And it's by, by the energy. Like if you and I have a nice chemistry, and we could be very open to each other, and when we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, then yeah, I'm super down to like do a collaboration with you,
Right. Yeah, because there's some people, like, I feel there are great producers, great people, but I can't collab with. Like, there's some people, like, you get on to try and collab, and it's 4 hours later, and maybe you picked out the kicks of what your song is, but like there's sometimes it's like it's too talky, I guess. Like, as much as like I love to talk to people, when I'm ready to sit down and produce, it's like that's where my head is. It's not ready to talk for a couple hours. I kind of like, and it's not to say that there's anything wrong with them. Like they can be some of my closest friends, but it just we don't collab well, you know, when it comes to music.
Right.
We just don't, we work different ways, or, you know, and I honest, some people have not liked that. I'm very honest about that. But if I don't collab with you well, I'll be the first person to be like, hey, like, I love your music. I wouldn't have sat down to try and collab with you if I didn't, but we just don't collab well. You know, like, I'd like to go, you know, like, I want you to still do well. Maybe in the future, we might find something that we do collab well on. But for now, you know, like,
no, and there's nothing wrong about that. And it's great that you should be honest and upfront right from the start, you know, because if you're not feeling well, then, you know, the song itself is not going to feel good either. If everything's going to be forced out and you're not going to be happy about it. And, you know, the song, if you ever release it, it'll be like, whatever. It is what it is, you know. And and you should always like treat collaborations like this is a partnership deal. Like, this is a relationship. Like if we get along and we know each other, then, you know, then yeah, let's do something about it. That should be the approach about it. Not to feel like, you know, oh yeah, my song is sick and your song is sick. You know, we should do something together. If it's been feel like forcefully, even though we're like, I never met you or I have met you, but it's just like maybe our worlds don't click that much. There's gonna be a lot of bumping heads, you know, and it's not gonna work. And people shouldn't take it too personally when it comes to collaborations. You know, like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if nobody wants to collab with you, don't take it wrong that, oh man, it's because I'm not good enough. It's not that. It's just, you know, it could be millions of reasons. I already said my reason. You know, it's like I'm very picky with the people I collab with, and if your standards are not as much as my standards, then, you know, I won't collab, you know. And I always want to make sure that my shit is like, you know, top notch shit. Like, make sure that everything is perfect. Obviously, there's no such thing as a song that's gonna be perfect. That's a producer's nightmare. We deal with that shit every day. Yeah. We're never gonna have a song that we're never gonna finish, but we eventually have to release it. We're never gonna satisfy with the end results. It is what it is. But at least that we have the same vision. That if you see my vision and you can level it up, then holy shit, then yeah, you know. Right. Just, you know, but I see a lot of people that they take it too personally for that, you know, and
it's hard because, like, I understand too, because, like, it's hard being told, like, hey, I don't want to collab with you. But, like, some people, like, they do take it hard, because I really do try and make sure people know that it's not like it's not like I don't like you. Like, you could be my best friend. If we don't make a song together that's working right, it's just like, I love you, but, like, I have to, like, I'm not going to sit here and try and force something, like you said, you know, like, what's, like, hard. I feel like what people don't understand is that, like, they think that means, like, I don't like your music. And that's where people get kind of caught up with it. But has nothing to do with that, you know. It has nothing to do with your personality, nothing to do with your music at all. We have different vibes or different ways that we set it up. Or, you know, like, sometimes it's even like their style is so unique. Like, I've had someone, he didn't like you. There was someone that, like, I won't say their name, someone I worked with, they're really unique and I really wanted to work with them and I love talking to them and we're cool now. But when we started collabing, it just wasn't working. You know, like, we're constantly re-editing what each other did. You know, like, I do a part, we say we like it, then next time I see it, the track, it's changed, or vice versa. Like, it wasn't just him. It was like, it was going both ways, you know, like, we just had different visions and we kept trying to put in our own vision. And he's really unique. He's really good. You know, like, we butt heads too much. And when I was like, yeah, this isn't working, after maybe, like, I gave it like 4 weeks of time where we were sending stuff back and forth before I was like, we're not getting any further. We still haven't even gotten to the drop yet. You know, like, we're nowhere near, like, I'm going to be working on this for the rest of my life. You know, like, and there's nothing wrong with him or his style or way of making things. It's just not us to work together at the time.
You know, clashing stuff, you know, like, it's very difficult. Like, hey, like I said previously, that songs, I have two collaborations with Nitty Gritty that never got released. And I ended up taking over for the project, because like many reasons, for why it never got released. Most of the time it's because he's busy and he has other shit, I have no problem with that. But it wasn't gonna at the moment because he was going a certain direction and my direction was still in dubstep. And like if he was gonna jump into dubstep, then the songs will be like, oh yeah, you'll have to wait for a year at least so I can get over it and then work on it. And I'm like, I can't wait for a year, dude.
Yeah.
Like I get it. And I don't want to derail your vision or what they got, what you have, in the future. And if you got some songs that you got to release, you got to do it. You got to do what you got to do. I don't want to derail that for sure, but I'm not gonna wait either.
Right. Especially when it's something that like it's one thing if he was the one who started making the song and you jumped on, but like especially if you start making a song, there's that special connection. There's some songs that I started years ago that I was supposed to collab with people and they never finished, and like I let that slide. Like from even before the hiatus, like I let it slide, and to this day it's still unfinished and it haunts me. Like I think about certain songs that are can be amazing that I wish that they would have done it, but I let them sit, and I don't even talk to that person anymore. And now I'm just kind of like, I don't even know where to go with this because the vibe's gone too. Yeah. The feeling that I was feeling there isn't so right in front of my face anymore.
Yeah, that's why like I usually am the starter for all these projects. Like if I'm gonna jump into collaboration with someone, I'll be the one starting the project. It's like, hey, this is something I worked with, or you want to work around it, or you got something better than that. Like let me hear your thoughts and yada yada yada. Because if I started from someone else's project, so there's like an expectation that they will expect for me to do it, and then I'll do it and I send it over and then I don't hear it back. It's like, well, whatever. I did my part, But when it comes to my project and I don't hear from them, it's like, hey, have you touched anything? Oh, no. It's like, all right, then I might as well finish it because I already started it. Like I already know how to finish it and I already know more or less the vision. It's like, if you're not going to finish it, you're not going to take your students time. It's like, I got this. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, and there's some people in the industry that are big, and there's some people that I've collabed with, or I've tried to collab with, where I start collabing with them, and I realize they know nothing about making music.
Oh wow!
I've had a couple of people because like they make a lot of songs, and then when I try to like start doing stuff with them, they don't know anything. And when I tell you like it's just me working, we'll be on Zoom and I'm like, gotten to the point where like I just stop hitting them back because the whole time they're like, yeah, do this, and I'm like, when am I gonna send this over to you? Do you want it or like no? You can keep it, keep doing it, and like they'll keep wanting like to do it. And I at first I was really with it, and I've even done a couple. Songs pretty much because I kind of, when I first started realizing it, I was like, are you just looking for a ghost producer? Pretty much like at that point, I was like, is that what you're asking for? Because like at this point, you're not paying me to do it. You're asking me as a collab. And like, I would and I've done a couple for this person that I'm, under contracts. I can't say anything.
Oh, there's NDAs? You're in the NDA business?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say anything particular, but, like they didn't make anything. And then I realized like, that's what they do. They just they're big as a DJ and they're great DJ, but they don't produce. And they, the way it was coming off at first was they just wanted me to collab so they didn't have to pay for
of course.
And I thought I was getting opportunities to play at certain places because of it. It's like how you're saying before. There's a lot of really good people in the industry, but there's still a lot of little snakes in there.
Oh man, let's talk about it.
Yeah, there's like like what I like though, like most people that you do find that are underground that aren't like getting paid yet to play, because like most people don't notice that like until you tour or until you're like a resident DJ somewhere, like you're not really getting paid. Like there's not a lot of money. Like even like when I played at like Apex when I did this stuff for Lucho and stuff.
Yeah.
But unless I was except for the the promo you get paid for like with tickets and stuff like that. And,
sure.
You didn't really get paid for the actual performance, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I never got paid for Apex either. Yeah. I basically work for free to play all these shows and festivals, with these guys. Selling tickets, sure, but I never saw it as like really money, because most of the tickets, like I only keep $5 and they keep the rest. So it's like,
right, yeah,
not really earning anything out of it, to be honest. So it's like
most of the time it was like, well, you have the money to go out this night. You know what I mean? Like that was like the money to get to and from places was really the money I was getting from selling tickets and stuff like that. Like to go enjoy it. Like, like by the end of selling the tickets for like Sunset or Life in Color, I had enough money I got a free ticket, and then I got enough money to spend at the festival. And by the time I made home, I was even, like it was good for that, to be in the scene, to get the networking. But there was no, like, people think that you get a lot of money out of it. People, when you tell someone you DJ, they mean, how much did you make for playing tonight? I mean, you're like, nothing. their face is like, what? Like, you didn't get paid for that? Why not? Like, who do I need to talk to? Like, no, it's just kind of how it is in the scene right now. Like,
no, the scene itself is just, it's weird, which is why, like, I tell a lot of people that don't, if that's what you want, that you want to be DJ, you want to get booked to being DJ, and you want to get booked because of your music and all that stuff, don't go promotion. Don't be a promoter. Like, just stick with making music, because hey, let me tell you, all those years, which I have no regrets with going with Apex and Lucho. And I love Lucho a lot the heart. That's my homie and
absolutely
my mentor. And thanks to him I got all the hookups and the places and the networking for all the stuff that I wanted. Like, he put me on the spot. Like, nothing but love and respect with him. I look at it in the grand scheme of things. Like, I spend like at least over 5 hours of promotion, 500 hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
500.
I was going to say 5. Yeah. I was like 5.
No. I meant to say 500. It was that because I did 300 hours for Life in Color, so I can play in Life in Color, and I get free tickets out of it for all those, for that compensation, and then the other 200s for throughout the year until 2017. And we're talking about 2015 that I started working with them all the way to 2017. Like imagine 500 hours of promotion, that you're taking your sweet time of promoting then a show, like where 90% of the time it's a show that you're not playing. It's a show that your homies are playing or someone else is playing, but you're promoting it so that way you get a slot for the next show or whatnot, we're talking about noticed just to be noticed for a little bit. 500 hours. Imagine if I could have used those 500 hours on just making music,
right?
Or just learning from
that, or even just working to be able to get the equipment that you want or need, or like, because like, that's the big thing. Like, another thing that promoting does is it labels you as a promoter. When you promote, you go on Instagram, you look at your page, you see you do podcasts. Exactly. You know what you do, you see what it is, and you can market it that way. Like any DJ that is promoting, you look at their page and you don't see DJ, you don't see promoter. I mean, you don't see producer, you see promoter. Yes. Like, you see all the different flyers on their page and it clutters it up, and that's all you really see. Yeah. And I've talked to a couple different people about that before that are artists that, I don't, they say, I love to play and I'll post what I'm playing, but I'm not going to sit here and clutter up my page and make it look like I'm a promoter for this event.
Yeah.
When that's not what that's not what my page is about. It's about the fact that I'm an artist. I'm trying to show what I have.
Right. And it should be treated like that. It should be treated like that. But, not many people know about this, Not many people knows about these type of histories or experiences. And that's where I come into the picture, into my show, and talk about these stuff with people like you, and talk about all this so other people that are, the next generation who wants to come up and say, I want to be a dubstep producer, come listen to this, before you hit the streets. So that way, at least you'll be aware of the streets, that you won't go blindsided, not knowing what the fuck is going on, and think that whatever they telling you is the right way to do it, and it's the only way. No, there's multiple ways. There's plenty of ways how to do this, If
you I feel like if people put that time into promoting events, the same amount of, if we put 500 hours into promoting ourselves, it makes a huge difference on where, you can get that same amount of people you're getting towards an event, towards this, to be, hey, click my SoundCloud link, click here, it's free,
exactly.
You're not even trying to sell them on anything except yourself, and just, it doesn't take any more than a couple seconds. But we tend to especially a lot of the people I've talked to, we tend to forget that people put a lot of time and effort into outside of who's in the industry, we forget how much time, effort, money goes into making the music and stuff, making everything that goes out, that, I can't even how much money I must have put into music in the past 10 years, more than I've put in cars, more than I've put on the roof over my head, anything. It's the most expensive thing I've ever done.
I agree. Yeah, no. If I tell you, if I tell you the money I spent over the past decade on music, I can take you a little bit further. I've been DJing for over 15 years. I literally started DJing at my 15 and I'm 32. So it's imagine all the equipment and all the birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and whatever other shit that comes down the way. Extra jobs and side gigs here and there, just to put in, so I can have a nice computer, have a nice DJ equipment, have a nice everything, even on my own pickup truck. I even had a pickup truck so I can DJ all around and bring all my equipment to it. And it's an investment. I'm still to this day investing on shit, between my speakers, the audio interfaces, microphones, webcams, cameras, lights, and let's not. And I haven't even mentioned about the software, like the Adobe programs, Premiere and Photoshop. That costs money. The Ableton, I had Ableton over 10 years, but still I keep upgrading for it. And all the plugins and the VSTs, the
Serum and everything.
and the graphic design. Asking for graphic designers to rebrand my logos and all this shit. Dude, it's money that we invest on it. I don't know. I can't even put a price how much I invest on my shit, but I know it's around the 5-digit numbers.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. I'm definitely getting up there, and it's starting to it's scary because you never know when the investment's gonna pay off.
Right.
Or if the investment's gonna pay off, and a lot of people. I wish it was more commonly known to people that aren't artists how much time, how much money goes into it, because a lot of people think it's just pressing a couple buttons.
Yeah.
You talk to people who think who don't know, and when you're listen to this, they're like, oh, this dubstep song has one sound, and you're listening as a producer going, there's at least 25 sounds making this one sound.
Yeah.
Layers into this one sound. They have no idea. They think it's just a button,
Yeah.
and it's easy, and that you don't need a lot of stuff to do it. You just need a laptop. But
nah, bro, it ain't easy.
Yeah.
And especially if you don't know anything and you want to learn badly, you don't know where to go. Most of the time is YouTube Academy. You just go to YouTube, look up for the top producers and how to sound design like certain artists, and it's like, oh, okay, that's how you learn.
Like Virtual Riot. I learned through Virtual Riot, and actually, when I met him playing at Treehouse, which, by the way, probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in like that's big in the industry. The way that he was talking about, because like I was telling him, I tried my hardest not to fangirl as much, as much as possible.
Yeah, but it happens. It happens.
Yeah, I was like, but I was trying to let him know that, like, honestly, it really, if it wasn't for Virtual Riot and like Disciple and all their videos, I probably would have never been able to start learning. I watched all their videos, and I was like asking him like what made him like want to start all of those, start showing tutorials about it. And he was saying that he went to school. I forget wherever he's from.
Germany.
He went to Germany. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. But like he went to school, and it was like 4 other people that got selected for this music program. And that his biggest thing is that the music industry is it's supposed to constantly keep growing and evolving. And if you're constantly giving away the secrets, you're giving away how to make all these sounds, it keeps everyone moving. It keeps competition moving. Because if everyone knows how to make the secret to this, like the secret sauce that the big guys are using, now they have to take a step further. They have to, like everyone has to move forward. And he was like, I love seeing that, like it progress. And it's interesting. I love seeing that, like artists like him, like they'll put out tutorials of how they actually do things. And it's not like missing. I've watched videos of him make full songs that he winds up releasing later, and there's nothing hidden about it. He wants you to see exactly how it's done so that you can learn. And, not to say that because like you're saying, like people do mainly go to like YouTube University, and there are some, like it's hard to find, but there are some good ones on there that like I have gone to school for a little bit. The main way of learning, I haven't had really a mentor or anything. It's just been YouTube. And the one thing I'll say that they don't teach you how to use social media. How do you and I'm still to this day, I don't get it that well. I'm trying my hardest to get better on that end. And that's like honestly the hardest part that they don't teach you.
Yeah. I will say, I'll be lying if I say I didn't learn a lot of my sound designing from YouTube. I learned a lot from fucking Shane from Rocket Power Sound.
Yeah.
Shane is fucking dope. Who else?
I took his master class.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I took the Zero master class as well.
Yeah.
And I learned even a lot more. Even all the stuff that I already knew about it, they kind of already teach it, but they teach new techniques around it. I was like, okay. I can actually use this. All right. But I have used Shane, and I have used who hasn't used Cinematic shit, Who else did I learn from YouTube? And it was very minimal for the people that I learned from YouTube. Huh?
You ever watch Company?
I took tutoring lessons from Company.
Really?
Yeah. Tutoring lessons with Company, Careless Castle, Crimson Child, and Modestep. Modestep was pro bono because like we're buddies.
Oh, so lucky. Modestep is probably one of the first couple people I started liking when I was really starting to discover EDM.
Yeah.
Because honestly, back in 2012, I hated it. I was a big metalhead. I was like, oh, this is like robot rap battle, robots having sex, like all the different things.
That's exactly my fun. But I loved it. But people ask me, it's like, what the hell is this? It's like, 2 Transformers fucking each other around.
Yeah.
or a robot fighting an alien or something. You know, that's what dubstep is. But I loved it. I loved it. I was like, it's unique. It's fucking Skrillex. You know, why not?
Yeah, Skrillex was the person that brought me into it. The Scary Monsters, Nice Spirits, and
first of the year.
Yeah,
Levels remix.
Like, it was like a hybrid. It was something new. Like as a metalhead, as someone who liked rock, like when I heard it, I was like, okay, like I'm getting elements of it. And I try and incorporate that a lot with my music now, is like, what's something that when someone hears it, they might hate EDM, they might hate dubstep, but there might be a little element, like, you know, maybe a guitar, maybe pianos, maybe something like beautiful that, like, you know, like live elements that, you know, someone who hates it, someone who thinks dubstep sucks, you know, like dubstep's trash, you know, like they'll be like, they'll turn their head for a second. Maybe there's a rap like part in there, you know, like I love what they've been starting to do. And I think Skrillex was one of the first to be like, I'm not really just dubstep. I'm not really just house. Like I have some hybrid elements of rock. I have some hybrid elements of rap, you know, and that really changed the game up.
Absolutely. Like since Skrillex came about, you know, it revolutionized dubstep as a whole, you know, and made dubstep to what it is right now. Like,
yeah,
to hats off to Sonny for that, you know. And yeah, like something that you're mentioning about, you know, us learning from YouTube, you know, because we didn't have all the resources that we have. Now we do. Now there's much more resources, but learning from YouTube, yeah, the one thing that they don't teach you is how to market. And let me tell you, it's a very uphill battle when it comes to marketing your social medias and your music, you know. For me, I see it's simpler. Like I already know what to do with it. And even still, I still don't know all about it. And I still need to get a little bit better at it as well. But I do say promoting your song in today's world is much more easier than promoting my podcast, because it's easy for somebody to catch the attention of a song, which is a song itself is like 2-3 minutes average, you know. It's like if you listen to few first seconds and you already, if you're hooked, you listen to the whole song and you're like, holy shit, why not? Podcasting, it's a whole different game. Like I need an audience, somebody that wants to learn, somebody that wants to fuck with me on it. And most of my episodes are for an hour or two. It's like I need somebody to listen to those. It's fucking difficult. So to me, to this day, I'm still trying to learn how to market. YouTube doesn't tell you that, you know. Most of the time you go about certain artists how to do it, but even sometimes artists don't even know the formula either. They just like, dude, I just did this and that, and then everything became a domino effect to me, you know, and that's how it is, you know. YouTube doesn't tell you that unless you ask personally to the artist itself. You already have contacts with that person. That's the only way how you will ever find out how to do these things. And now with the resources that they're out there, well, a lot of these artists, the Patreons and live streams and whatnot, they do feedback sessions, and depending on what tier you are, like they even tell you, they can even guide you basically how to get to where you want to be, you know. And there's schools like into the DAW is a perfect school. Like I tell everybody, go to DAW Nation, man. Shout out to Wyatt, man, and AU5. Look, those are great people, you know. Like go to those guys if you want to learn. If you really want to learn how to become a music producer, not a bass producer, a music producer, go to DAW Nation's school, you know, like, and you'll learn from AU5. And AU5 is literally one of the biggest producers out there in the bass scene, you know, like the guy does no wrong.
Serum? Didn't he make Serum, or he was like a big contributor towards Serum or something like that?
No, he didn't make Serum. Steve Duda made Serum. He was a contributor.
You're right.
he's just like Virtual Riot. AU5 is like a master pro on Serum, and even to this day, he still tells neat techniques of how to sound design and stuff that you could come up that nobody uses on Serum. Like the guy's like he cannot do no wrong. He cannot do no wrong, and he can do any genre. Like if you listen to his latest songs, he's done psytrance.
Yeah.
Psytrance with melodic dubs. And like, who the fuck would have ever thought about that? Like, what the fuck? Are you like, 7 Lions now?
Yeah, like he has that song with 7 Lions. It's like that, Remember Me or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, and his whole career is all melodic stuff. So obviously the dude is amazing. It's talented.
Yeah.
So obviously you can go to schools for that, and you can go to even Defy Society, and you can learn. You can learn from the best to become the best, which is dope. I like that whole notion that get your money's worth, by actually learning from the best. The only thing that I disagree is that I feel like they emphasize a lot more on the music aspect and a lot less on the marketing aspect. And I will never I'll never tell anybody go to YouTube and learn from that. Like, no. Because even the YouTubers who does sound design and whatnot, they don't tell you any of that shit. They're only showing you how to make the sound design that they did, and that's it. Call it a day. I would never, even though they're dope people, any of these sound designers that are YouTubers, that may be dope people, but I would never take advice from those guys on anything. And the reason why I say that, I have no beef with anybody. I have nothing against them.
Right.
Let them do what they're doing. If their content is making bread, let them do it, man. Go feed yourselves. They are what they are, YouTubers. So they just
like that is their job. Is like
to be animated and show you how to sound design, and this is how it is. It's like that's the only thing they do. You're not really learning per se of what you're trying to do. And if these guys are that dope that they got like 40,000 followers in YouTube and they make all these sick shit, why is it that I haven't heard any of your songs released on any of these labels?
Right. Yeah. And that's why I only really trust like the people that like I see that are also big. Like when I watch Company or like I listen to Moon Boy
or Dr. Ozzy.
Dr. Ozzy's I love Dr. Ozzy. Oh, he's really good. And he's starting to blow up more. He's starting to blow up more. He was underground for a while, and now he's starting to come more to light, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, and he's done his live Twitch shit, and tell people how to do shit. And he even does what Virtual Riot did. He does it as well. He starts his project from the scratch and builds it up, and then it gets released a few months later. And you're like, holy shit, that's the song. Holy crap, Dr. Ozzy got released on Never Say Die. Rest in peace to those guys, But, when Never Say Die was around, Dr. Ozzy was just like banging it with those guys,
Yeah.
So it's like those are the people that I will like listen carefully with those guys. Those guys know what they're doing because they're killing it in the scene. Versus the YouTubers that you still see them in their own home, in their own bedrooms, which again, I put a disclaimer, nothing against you guys, but I haven't seen any moves from you guys outside of your bedroom.
Like what I suggest, like normally when it comes to those, like, cause like I have seen a couple people who do, like they stay on that platform. Like I think his name is Andrew Wu or something like that.
Yeah, Andrew Wong. Yeah. He does the collaboration with 4 people with the same sample.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. He has that like it's like a side thing that he's done on those before, and he's even with like Flux Pavilion on there.
Yeah, like, Zomboy, Virtual Riot, Must Die. Yeah, he had a bunch of different producers.
Yeah, he's someone that like I'm pretty sure I've heard him say on his thing, like, he doesn't want to be there. Like he likes doing this stuff on it. And like I'd say like make sure like whoever like they're watching, like if you are watching stuff to learn, make sure one, if they're not big, take things what they say with a grain of salt. They might teach you a little something, but use it to your own. Like, like a lot of people might see someone make a sound and they're just sometimes they won't even learn. They'll have the preset on the bottom to download, and they'll just click on that. They won't sit there and tweak how they're tweaking, because like it's not like when you watch those videos, it's not about the sound, it's not about the outcome. It's about learning, okay, this knob might make it sound like shh versus like a pure tone, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's different little pieces to it that they should get out of it and try and do their own thing, because that's how people find their own sound. You know, you don't play with it. If you're just trying to steal that, you know, other sound, you might as well just hit the download button.
Yeah, you're not really doing anything. You're just doing it just for the fuck of it, when you should be actually learning how to actually do it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like most of the time, take it with a grain of salt. Don't take everything like too hard to say like, oh, this is the only way to do it. And also take some of the sounds that are coming from these guys and apply it to your projects and not do anything about it.
No, that's a big thing I've noticed lately, is like people are getting very, you know, when I first started, it was almost taboo to use a sample outside of drums.
Yeah.
You know, like when I first started, like it was like you used a sample, like like don't talk to me, like, you know, like some people were like that. Now people are getting really comfortable with loops, even where I'll hear the same loop, and like some of these people who are just starting, like they think they made a song, and it's with loops that I've heard in one of those apps where you press a button and it plays that loop, and then you just added a drum beat on top of it. And you know, like I don't think that people, I think that some people are getting that idea like that we were talking about earlier, where it's just press a button and you're going to be able to make music, and you don't have to know a lot of stuff to do it. And that is starting to become a problem, especially like with Splice becoming so easily available. And there's just, they take Splice loops and, oh, I made a song, and
it's
I can hear it. Especially if you're a producer and you've been using Splice like the correct way, you're listening to every little tone in a sound, like, because you're sitting there going, I can change this, I can do that, you know, and you can, when someone else is starting to use them, you know, that sound. Like there's so many times I'm like, yo, this is from, I heard this exact sound in Mode Step song. Like, I heard this exact sound in Virtual Riot. And it's like, I know that Sullivan King sample, like those drum loops, like it's people are getting a little comfortable with it, and it's becoming less original. And that's why, like, not to say that the songs aren't good, because like some of the songs, they come out and they're great, but it's not what's gonna bring someone to fame, or not, you know, it's not gonna bring them to the top.
It's not gonna, what's the word, like it's not gonna stand you out from other people.
That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah,
exactly. Like and that's why I always take sound design very seriously. Like you don't have to be a Virtual Riot level sound designer to sound cool shit. No, it could be the most minimal shit ever and it still sound dope. And if it sounds dope, it sounds dope. But at least be original about it. Like, for example, the other day, like not too long ago, I heard a buddy of mine send me a song, and the song itself was dope. But the thing is, it sounded like Vandals or 12 Planet sound. And and that's the first thing that I told him. Is like, you know, is it a preset or something? And he says, like, actually, no, I actually recreated the sound from that similar sound to from Vandals or 12 Planet, you know? And it's like, well, that's actually pretty dope. Not many people can do that. Kudos for you. But I will just change the sound or resample it. Right. Because it's just it doesn't sound like you. It sounds like 12 Planet or Vandals. I immediately said it the moment I heard the sound. So you want something to stand out through the test of time, something that can say, oh yeah, that's a Wolfson track. Wolfson's Sons doesn't sound like whatever other artist. I can't relate it to it. No, it's Wolfson. That's how it is. That's how Team Rocket sounds like that, you know? Unique sounds, you know? And I always tell people, it's like, dude, the easiest thing to resample, even if you're too lazy to sound design, just resample. Like it only takes you nothing to just take a preset, resample it, add a few effects, and then resample again and make a drop out of that one sound. And then before you know it, you just got a nasty drop that was so original. and you can consider it's called original because you destroyed the original sound.
Exactly. Like I had you know how like there's like sample competitions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was one for Subtronics on Up and Up, and you were supposed to use these samples, and I wound up taking the samples and changing them so much that when I submitted it, they told me, they were like, you had to use some of the samples, and I was like, I used only the samples that you gave me. But they were like, they were trying to tell me like, oh, these aren't the same samples. Like it didn't sound anything like them anymore. And you can do that with sounds, like, you know, like it's so easy to make them sound like nothing like what they sounded like. But you can notice like, oh, maybe the low mids hit really nice here.
Yeah.
The mids hit, or the highs hit nice, you know, like, and just change it, but work around the fact of where it fits in, like in your mix. And I feel like people just take it and like, oh yeah, here, let me put this here.
Yeah,
but
no,
like that's what
too lazy.
Done. Yeah, it's too lazy. Like I've gotten to the point where I don't even like. I've started. I got a recorder, like a little field mic. I go around. I record everything. One of my songs, "I Am Team Rockit," like is one of my songs on that EP I was telling you about.
Yeah,
I went to the air show and I was just sitting there, like following like the Blue Angels with the field recorder, trying to just get like something that not a lot of people have, like who has like that sound, you know, like no one's gonna be sitting in that same location watching them like whip by in the middle of the beach, you know. Like I don't know, I love it. I love resampling. Like once I discovered it, like I used to be huge on Serum, but I started discovering like everyone uses basic shapes.
Yeah,
everyone uses, you know, the same sounds, and it you know, AU5, like you said, does make a lot of new things, but a lot of people keep making the same thing over and over again when it comes to Serum. I almost feel like I'm plateau with it, you know? Like there's not much more to make. You can't, like, it won't be, you can't saturate it too much. Like sometimes I feel like it just, you know, for where I can get a sample, like a live sample that has depth, that has width, you know? And I can now resample it again and shape it until it doesn't even sound like what I had, but the tonality behind it is great. Like someone told me like live sounds are never going to compare to synthetic sounds. And
absolutely,
as of right now, like, I mean, like maybe then in the future, like with these new synths like Vital and Faceplant, like they're starting to take Serum's concept and give you more ways to affect things and have the oscillators run after effects. And now, like, you know, like you can do things differently. So like maybe, I don't know, this next like 5-10 years, we might see a huge change in how synthesizers work and how they are feeling. Because you think, like, I think back just even to like 2016, 2015, how much depth the songs had versus now. Like
huge difference.
Like there's some songs that can still stand the time. Like Centipede is one of those few that like it has that depth from then. Yeah. But like I say that's one of the few, like when I think of like, that's one of like the first ones I always think about when I hear of like songs that stand time on like level wise, like volume wise, and at the same time like full, like that full feeling. Because like you listen to like original, even like Excision, and Excision started forever ago, but you know, like you listen to his stuff in like 2011, 2012, and it's completely, listen now, it was just bass. Like I almost feel like we're starting to go backwards too with that too. Like we start, like now we're getting that wonky, weird stuff, and it's starting to go back to where like it's a lot of like sub, not a lot of treble, and like, but it's becoming its own genre, kind of like stretched apart from just dubstep.
Yeah, like in a lot of ways, I definitely feel like we are, you know, going backwards again, because I mean, the sound itself, you know, it's its own evolution, you know. And then before you know it, we have our own genre with it, you know.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's how, you know, future rhythm or color bass came about. You know, people just
loving that trend.
Yeah,
I'm loving that trend.
I love that trend too. I thought it was just, you know, melodic dubstep overall, but people say no because it has the rhythm elements out of it, but it's so glitchy and so, happy about it. I'm like, I can see why. Yeah, I can take it because it doesn't have the super sauce like a melodic dubstep will have or chill step will have, so I can see why.
And it's cool because it's like the super, it's like they have the super saw elements with the chords in the drop, but like it won't be played like a super saw. It has that wobble to it, like they put an auto pan or something on it to where it's like womp womp womp, like how rhythm is. And that whole future rhythm has kind of re-interested me in rhythm because not to trash rhythm. I've made rhythm, like
oh bro, don't worry about it. I'm not a fan of rhythm. I'm very public about it. I do not like rhythm at all. I always say rhythm is the techno version of dubstep.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so
I'd say that at least about textbook rhythm. And when I say that, I mean more like where it's just one really good sound designed sound that played over and over again, like the way that like Subtronic does rhythm, where it's not, I don't even consider it rhythm anymore. It's kind of like it has the same beat, like drum pattern, but it doesn't flow the same. It has more variety. And
like levels a Virtual Riot rhythm is not the same like an Infect rhythm,
right? Or like Old Monk's rhythm.
Yeah, Old Monk's rhythm is not the same as Subtronic's rhythm, or whatever other artist, or Samplifier's rhythm is very different than a Murda rhythm,
Right. And like that, like that's what I like. I like that type of rhythm. Like Subtronics is, I always call him Papatronics. Because I love him, but like he's like my favorite. But like I can't do like that old, like just womp 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 womp.
Yeah, no, bro, I can't handle that shit, bro. I'd say like, man, shut that shit off, man.
Yeah. I have to be. You're gonna have to get me in some other mindset for me to even like consider. I can't do a full set of that.
No, absolutely not, bro. When it comes to your creative process, because we've talked about, when you're doing your music and everything, like how do you go about when you start your music? Like, what is it that you start with? Like, you start with your intro, your breaks, your build, your draws. Like, how does Team Rockit make music?
Day. I know for a fact I never start with a build, but normally if I'm like, it depends on the mood. If I'm more in like, I feel like I want to be like ragey, like, like I'm going to try and make like a crazy drop. I'll start with the drop first and I'll work my way around it. If I'm working off more of a feel, more of like vocals and stuff, then I'll start with the intro or like the chorus. But normally, like if I'm starting with a drop, I have this one serum or splice loop that I use as a buildup, as like a temporary. I always call it my temporary buildup. People normally know it. Like anyone who like my roommates or like my friends like that I'm around, anyone that I show like pre-work to, they always know that same buildup because it's one buildup that I just plug and play, put a little vocal, and then it's like it gives me that energy. Like, okay, here we go, boom, boom, boom. Like I can use it for anything. It's very versatile and it doesn't like carry too much. But yeah, I'll normally start with like, what will normally happen is I'll be in the car listening to another song and, maybe like they have good vocals or something. And I'll just turn off or like, I have this thing on my phone where I can loop certain parts of a song. I can take it and put it down into it and I can just loop it. And I'll be sitting there the whole car ride home on certain chords or certain like BPM and just trying to like come up with words because I had like something, like I may have had like one line that I really, really liked and I want to incorporate that and I want to build around it. And then like if it's a drop, normally it's like I'll just be listening to mixes because I'm ADHD. That's part of why I love DJing. I can't, if I'm in the car, people either love it or they hate it because when I'm playing music on my phone, I won't finish a song. I don't finish songs. I'll go to where I like in the song, maybe sometimes even. I'll cut it off right after. If the second I hear the part I like, it's a new song. I'm already on to the next one.
Right.
Like that's part of the reason why I love DJing. I get to pick all my favorite parts of the song and either mash them up together, fucking, strange it when the good part's over.
Right.
Something I've always done. Like I just the ADHD in my head just plays like that. I tell people all the time, if you think I'm listening to you, well, most of my brain power is playing 4 different songs in my head as it
is. I know that feeling a lot well.
It's chaotic, but it's fun.
Yeah. So how long does it take you to actually finish a song of yours?
It really depends. There's some songs I haven't finished and I've started 5 years ago and I haven't finished. And there's other songs I've start to finish have done in 3 days. And I have right now in my library of unfinished songs, there's somewhere between 200 to 300 Ableton files.
Oh, of course.
Of just unfinished or like finished, but they're not mixed and mastered to where I like it. I have about 30 finished tracks right now. Are unreleased that are not like there's some little thing that I feel like it's missing. It might be like the bass isn't right, the vocals aren't right, and I kind of been sitting on them to re-release with my other name that I am like trying to work on because like I do want to, like I was saying, like I want to start remarketing and kind of doing everything better to where like it like. I want it to like my thing to be like themed, like there's like, like a lot of people now, you listen to Sudden Death and like it's sudden death because not only does he have the vibe, like his name fits his energy, like for me, my stuff is all over the place. I have rock songs out. I have wonky songs that are out. I have mid-tempo songs that are out. I have rhythm songs that are out, and I have melodic songs that are out, like even like indie rock song, like Tame Impala vibes. I go all over the place that I just don't feel that my name fits what I do, how I operate, and
no, I was actually getting one of the questions I had was like, are you willing to try other genres? But you basically answer it, man, because you said you have other genres making under that one name. So I'm gonna actually ask you this other question related to it. Due to the fact that you're saying that you're thinking about Team Rocket as a whole, but then doesn't fit the music that you do to Team Rocket itself. Have you already come up with some other name, other project that you're willing to start all over again and, with a fresh perspective and say, this is what this person is all about and this is the genre of music that plays?
So, yeah, I actually do have another name and I don't, like I wear, like for that name, I'm kind of working on getting a new mask for it because it is like a mask DJ thing, and like I don't really have a problem with anyone knowing who I am, so like I'll say it, like it's called a moat, but like I have always had a thing with people seeing me when I'm on stage. Like I get a little awkward, a little bit more timid, so I've always kind of wanted to do a mask, but I feel like I can have a mask that like you ever see those masks that are on Instagram? They're always being advertised on Instagram where it's like activate from your phone, like change it, like, and it's like videos and stuff on your phone.
Yeah.
So I got one of those, and the problem with that, like I've played one show as a moat before. The problem was I could not see out of it to save my life. And then like right now, looking at my computer screen, I would not be able to see the top to the bottom of my computer screen from this distance, and then get a little hot in there and watch it, how foggy it gets. Your vision was already like cut in half. Now you got nothing, but like I wanted to do a moat because I feel like I am all over the place, and a moat can have happy, like I could do like emoticons to keep the theme of like, if I'm making happy, something that's happy, I can have like a happy face on the mask. I can have, if I'm doing something aggressive, I can have it to where like it's angry, like almost like visuals, but it's part of like my character itself is the visuals as well, and portrays like what the emotion of the music is. If it's weird, it could have like swirly eyes, like different emojis and type stuff like that, where I can kind of have a theme. Like I feel like I'm all over the place, and that's the same way that emotions are with most people in this world. It's up and down, it's weird, it's angry, it's happy, it goes all over the place. And I feel like that is something that can be marketed as a multi-genre artist, someone, something that like you don't know what to expect from them. The whole mask thing, like a lot of times it's like no one knows who it is. I really don't, it's not that big of a deal. It's more like I want people, if you took the time to figure it out, like, then but like, I've always just, I don't know. I've always not really wanted it to be about me in a sense either. Like it's about the music. It's about the energy. Music has taken me through probably the roughest times of my life and got me through it, So that's more what it's about. And I want that focus to be on that, on the emotion, on the on the music itself and everything.
And what has been like your favorite project that you've ever done that you said that you're so proud of it that you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I did this song, bro. It's sick.
That would definitely be the song I have out called Next to You. That is my favorite song that I've released. It is probably one of the only ones I listen to on my own without like cringing at all. And honestly, I wrote that song in under a week. I think it was like 3 days to make it, and then I took like 2 days to mix it and everything before it was out on the Friday. Like started it on Monday and it was already released on Friday through and through. And to this day, it's the only one that I feel like was really released to quality, to standard of where I like the sound.
Right.
Like I have other songs that are out that, I mean, I like that creative idea of everything that I do, like I will stand by that, but the mixing, the mastering, the loudness of it, I feel like I could have done better on some things, which is why I do want to, like, once this is all set, I want to have VIPs, which I've made a lot of VIPs as well to my own songs, but I also want to one day maybe close the book on Team Rockit as what it is right now and kind of move that to emote, and maybe Team Rockit be something where it's more of my collabs. It's more of like the things that I work on with people. Like I'm not 100% unsure on how I want to do it until I finish, like where I'm trying to get everything done. Right now, I'm more on the point of just keep making stuff. If I don't release, oh well, right now, I have a huge arsenal of stuff that I can jump on. I can finish at any time. If I really put if someone said they needed something, like, especially for like we were talking earlier, like ghost producing or like anything like that, like I have stuff I can pull out of my ass in 3 days, like it's ready to be released if I want it to, or if I, like for them, or at least like not released, but like sent over so that they can mix and master for their own, their own thing. Cause that's where I slack.
Okay. So let me ask you, like the concept of writer's block, do you believe in it?
Yeah. I feel like my biggest thing is if I try and get too into it, the more I try, which is like really ironic, the more you try sometimes, the more you get writer's block. It's one of those things, like when it comes natural, it comes natural. And the vibe will just flow, and you can have something done right away. But if you're trying to force it, the more you're forcing, the more writer's block you're going to get.
Right.
And honestly, I suggest taking breaks a lot. I'm very known for maybe like a whole month. Like, I might make a bunch of stuff in a week, And a whole month later, I'm like, no dubstep. I'm not even going to listen to dubstep this month. Like I need a detox, you know, like,
right.
Or maybe like a couple months where I'm like doing everything, you know, I'm working on stuff, but then I need a detox from everything, you know, and it just comes. But the biggest way to get over it is try to not try. Like try to make something that you don't care about, that you like go into the maybe maybe it's like today don't care if I make something, but I'm just gonna open up Serum and just keep pressing on stuff. And maybe I made a sample that I liked. That one sample can be something maybe in the future, you know? It doesn't have to be writer's block doesn't have to like stop you from doing everything. You know, you might need your detoxes, which is completely normal, you know, like if you're doing something like, you know how it is to produce, you know, sometimes it's like time traveling. You can think you're on there for 5 minutes and it's 8 hours later.
Yes, seriously.
You know, like,
seriously.
Like, and that's a lot of stress. And like sometimes, especially for me, like my favorite genre of music is not EDM even. Like my favorite genre is still rock. But I like making EDM and I like the EDM scene better than anything. Like being at a rave, being at a festival, like whole Blur vibes, and you know, like fact that the electronic music speaks beyond language. It's that energy that you can feel that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're from Africa, China, you're from Ukraine, or you know, you're here. You're gonna hear those and probably react in the same way that someone else who speaks a different language would. I feel like EDM is more free, so it's more fun to make, you know. I don't have to know an instrument, and I don't know how to play most instruments. I know the music theory and how it works, but I don't really know how to play an instrument, you know. Like I don't have to stick to just drums and guitar and screaming, and you know, like it's like I can, if I want to have those elements, by all means. Dubstep doesn't have any rules, you know. Like EDM doesn't really have much rules to it. It's like go wild.
Yeah, explore your own territories, man, and explore other people's territories and incorporate it into your own fame, man. Before you know it, you probably started something that you didn't meant to start, and now it sounds dope, and now everybody wants to hop in it too. That's how trend starts, man. Be a trendsetter, not don't follow the trend. Be the trend.
Right. Someone once told me, like, he showed me this picture and it was like a guy digging for like a mine, and one guy found it, and the guy, like there's two guys digging, and one guy finds a gem. The other guy gets out of his hole and goes to try to dig where the other guy digged. And he
know that story. Digging. Yeah.
And then right under where the other guy was a gem for him too. Like he would have found his own sound. Like, and someone showed me that, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly, like, it really like clicked with me. Like that's exactly what it is. Like you could be chasing someone else's sound, but then you miss the opportunity of your own.
Exactly. You know, I know that story very well. I tell that story a lot more. You know, the story of the gold miner. Two guys started gold digging. One of them has been doing gold digging for a long time. The other one just started not too long ago. And the guy who started not too long ago found like a piece of nugget. And he was like, well, I'm done because I found a piece of nugget. And the guy who's been doing it for longest is like, what the hell, bro? I've been trying to dig this and I couldn't find not even one piece of nugget. And when you look at the scales in the grand scheme of things, he was like 2 clicks away of finding a gold mine, but he gave up because the other guy who started just not too long ago already found something.
Yep. And you see, I feel like I see it happen a lot, and it discourages people a lot because like people will see success in others and think it's a failure of their own. You know, when they see other people succeed. And that honestly, like when before I took that long hiatus, I felt that way too. Like even like, not that I was jealous or like, and I wanted to see everyone do good. Right. But like, I don't know if you remember Whatever.
course, Amy and Cypress, yeah.
Yeah, like they were doing great, and I loved seeing them do great, but it also on my end, I was like, ouch. You know, like they're doing great, and Snuko doing great, DNA was doing great, like they were all growing, and like I was like staying stagnant. So like happy for them, but you know, it hurt. And I started like when I came back, I kind of had that realization that like, you know, don't feel that way because they just got to it. That's just part of their journey. Like there's still stuff that I need to obviously learn. They're like instead of being like hurting, it's like I should be asking them like, what are you doing? You know, like it's don't look at it as like when you see someone that's winning, like look at them as an opportunity, not someone that's like a competition.
Exactly.
You know, like like someone that might be able to give you a little detail to help you find your own. Don't take their sound, but you know, like
exactly. Well, my man, we got 3 more questions and we can wrap this up with a nice note, man. So up till now, what has been your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment, like with music?
In general. It could be music, it could be in general, it could be whatever you think, you know, anything that like, you know, you say like, man, I did this.
Yeah, honestly, just the fact that I'm like sticking with it. And I've done a lot of research on my own in these past 7-8 years of trying to produce, you know, where I'm glad, like my biggest thing that I love is giving back. You know, I did a lot. I might have not have gotten a lot of opportunities given to me, or like, you know, like maybe even like software given to me, like things that I needed. But like, I know how hard it was to get up. And anytime I've gotten something or like learned the secret, I love sharing it. You know, like, I love, you know, I had licenses for Ableton, like a whole bunch. I have no more at this point, like, because like I know I'm going to upgrade soon. Whenever I upgrade my computer, I'm probably going to upgrade the software too. Like someone else might have the opportunity to grow because of that one little thing, you know, like probably I would say that's my biggest thing is I love the fact that I've been able to meet a whole bunch of people and be able to try and like give to them and try and help them grow as well. And like, because like it's really a community. I always say like artists got to look out for each other.
Yes.
And I try and live that every day. Like the fact that I've been able to, like, especially recently, like it's been such a blessing to be able to like meet people every like wherever I go now. I just like meeting people, like One Vibe Club and Underground Wubs, probably one of my favorite places, even though they're not that big, even though their production isn't what it's like at Space or at you know, like the venue. Like their energy is way beyond like even what you could find at like Ultra. You know, like the energy there, the people there, the community is growing, and I love that I can be like a part of that.
That's fucking dope, man. What are you currently doing? What do you hope to accomplish by it?
So currently, I've been really just trying to work on my production, going just back to school over here and being closer to the scene. You know, like I was very far away from the scene, and the scene near me was shrinking by the day. You know, like down in Fort Lauderdale, it was just getting worse and worse and worse.
Yes.
And I'm so happy to be in a place that is better with that. That literally there's shows. There's a whole dubstep night at Guilt on Mondays, like, and they get packed. Like there's shows
on a Monday.
On a Monday,
Guilt?
It's called Ascension Mondays. Ascension Mondays. Every Monday there's dubstep.
Man, yeah, Lando's getting lit. Maybe I should move in there.
Bro, come on over. It's nice over here. It's really nice. There's always something to do. There's always like an event going on. There's always like, if you want live bass music any day of the week here or in Tampa, which is 45 minutes an hour away.
Yeah.
You know, like Tampa, have you ever heard of TK Lounge? They're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They have dubstep nights. We have house nights. EDM nights. Like there's always something going on every night of the week.
Yeah, maybe in down the future, I'll probably move down to Central Florida to get something there.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? We'll see what the future lies with me, man. But I was always open to go in Central Florida. It's mostly in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see where it happens, man. One last question. We can wrap it up, man. Let's just say that you're walking down the street and then all of a sudden a Pokemon appears out of fucking nowhere.
All right.
And it comes to you and says like, yo, Team Rocket, we need your help. Because you and only you can help us with this situation. I know the irony, right? Team Rocket helping.
Right. I don't think they do that much.
Yeah. But this time you decide to, okay, let's do it. Let me help you out. And they say, no, but before you do, just so you know, you'll be out for a while. We don't know when you're going to come back. Here's a piece of paper. Write 3 pieces of advice that you will give to someone. What are those 3 pieces of advice?
To give to someone like in the scene?
In general, it could be in the scene or it can be in real life, whatever you can think of.
Honestly, the biggest things is the biggest piece of advice is give without expecting to receive. You know, a lot of people, that's probably the biggest thing is like,
yeah,
you don't know what one person's capable of, even if you think that they might not be anything right now and they might not be able to get something out of it. You know, you never know. That person could be your best friend down the line. That person can be a record label holder down the line. That person can be the CEO of Google, you know, down the line.
Yep.
Like you don't know what someone's capable of. And like, don't knock someone out of that. You know, like you be able to, like, if you think you can help someone, help them, because you never know how the world turns out, you know. It can change your life, you know. I've seen a lot of people that do the opposite. They just like to take, but eventually, you know, people recognize that. People see that, you know, people are dumb sometimes, but people aren't that dumb. You know, they know when things are amiss like that.
Right.
And second thing, I would say find what makes you happy and run with it. Even if it's not what makes other people happy around you. If you're happy with something without intentionally hurting someone, I say run with it. Like, don't let people hold you back, because people are going to tell you can't do this, you can't do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. At the end of the day, it's not about what makes them happy. It's not about what makes other people happy. Run with it, even if you think like the money will follow. If you really put your passion into something, you'll figure out how to make money off of it.
Right.
You'll figure, you know, like there's 1,001 ways to make money off of music. There's 1,001 ways to make money off of art. There's 1,000, you know, if you can do it, there's 1,001 ways to make money off your phone. You know, like if you're, whatever you love, you know, without judgment, like whatever you love, do it and really follow it. Because you only got one life. You know, if you're stuck sitting there, like doing something you hate for your whole life, you know, you're gonna regret it in the long run.
I agree very much, and it's where we go back again. You know, find that something that makes you happy, man. Do something that makes you happy, because if you're doing something every day that makes you happy, you don't consider it as a job. It's just your passion that you love to do, and you get paid for it, you know. That's what it is, man.
Yeah. And I guess the third thing would be, I feel like the third thing would just be straight down to like networking. Learn how to network whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And build a community with whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter. Like I've always felt like are better than that. Like find your tribe. Like find the people who are like you, because like you're going to find a lot of people who aren't. And not that like no one's wrong in their way. Like I always feel like no one's really wrong in the way that they are. You know, you hear people all the time say this person's toxic, this person's or that person's toxic or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really think that like people, for the most part, you know, are toxic or not toxic. It's just ways of living are different, and people try and force themselves into a crowd that might not be yours. Like honestly, the rave community helped me find my tribe, like, you know, my type of people. Because, you know, if you're trying to like go hang out with a doctor, you know, you might not have as much in common with someone who, like, at least for me, like, I'm not going to have anything in common with a doctor or a lawyer, but I'm going to have a lot in common with another raver, you know, like you just got to find that community that's like you. Like there's people that are out there, and don't give up if you think that there's not, you know, like there's always someone out there for you in that sense of, you know, you just have to find that community, get yourself involved in whatever like is what you like, you know, because that's how you really find it. If it's video games, like there are places that you can go game with other people, you know, like if you want, like, you know, like there's certain things you just gotta follow like what you like, and people are like the people that are going to be there are going to be around you.
Very dope, man. Very dope. Well, man, thank you so much for coming over to the show, man. I had a blast talking to you, man, and, you know, remembering some of the good times that we had together, man. It's very dope. I'm so happy to hear that you're still kicking it and you're still, you know, not stopping. I hope nothing but the best with you and your future endeavors right now. Hope a lot of good, cool things will happen to you in now in your new life that you got in Orlando.
Yeah, I'm excited. And it was great talking to you again. It was so good to see like your name pop up. Like when I saw your name pop up, I was so excited because you were one of like I didn't know too deep into a lot of the people like behind Apex.
Right.
But like I remember like you, Snuko, and Lucho are like the three, and Pepe.
Yeah.
Are like the four people that I really like. I'm like, yeah, these are the people I really liked, really fucked with.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. And, you know, for those who are wondering, guess who's back, motherfuckers? Man, before we leave, man, plug yourself out. Let the people know where they can follow you and what they can expect from you in the future.
Yo, so definitely follow me on my Instagram at T3am Rockit. And SoundCloud at Team Rockit. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music. My main form of contact is Instagram. That's my like main point, and all my links are there. There's going to be a lot of new stuff. I'm continuing with the podcast that I used to do, which is Rocketland Podcast, and it's a whole bunch of my friends playing, DJing, and live streaming the videos with visual production behind it and direct audio, so it's nice and clean. And I started doing it around the time of quarantine, but they're finally gonna start back up now that I'm in my own place.
That's fucking dope. That's fucking dope. I'm happy to hear that, man. Looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for coming over, man.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for listening. And remember, every week is a brand new episode with a brand new topic. So always remember to like and subscribe for your weekly episodes at youtube.com/The Lone Wolv Podcast or lonewolfpod.com. That's lone, WOLV pod.com, where you can check all my latest episodes. You can follow the audio version at SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio at Wolves and Music or the Lone Wolv Podcast. Comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts. Share your experiences. If you guys got a specific topic that you want me or Team Rockit to cover it, please let us know in the comments down below, and we'll do our best to talk about it on the next episode. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.